Good evening, humans. TyrannosaurusMoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Snizzard figure from Hasbro. This is the monster of the week I've been waiting for ever since they started putting them in this line, and this is definitely a very interesting character design that probably had some challenges bringing to plastic form. And the question is, did Hasbro accomplish what they need to accomplish? Well, let's talk about that. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this figure looks really, really good. There are definitely a couple of rough spots, I'm not gonna lie. However, I think those are absolutely forgivable, once again, taking into account how difficult of a design this must be to translate into plastic. And just, yeah, some really good stuff. And let's start with the positive, and I'll get to the roughs after. And just that face head sculpt looks absolutely fantastic. Definitely looks like it did on the show. Really like the way they did the green marks on the face with the scales, and the red eyes are very much piercing against that kind of tan color. This looks excellent, and we can see just the jaggedness of the teeth coming from the first mouth into the kind of torso mouth, which we'll get to in a second as well. Just absolutely fantastic. Gold on the top of the head, very crisply done. Looks excellent. Sculpt here, it's beautiful. One really nice touch I think is here at the back with the fin, which is actually kind of translucent, as you can see. It's a really nice touch, something I didn't realize from the promo photos. Come to the back, diamond pattern is very, very clear. I can see this very nicely done, and especially just the kind of gloss they gave it makes it look like the suit from the show, and that's just beautiful addition, honestly. As sculpt overall, just very, very nice. Scales everywhere. And you know, come to the legs and just snakes upon snakes, just such a good sculpt. And I guess this is where I'll get into some of the roughness. Is just, you know, this definitely could have done with a wash or something like that, but I'm assuming that's a budgeting cut, because the sculpt is absolutely there. And if you added a wash of some sort, I think this would come out just beautifully. So yeah, that is just awesome. We come to the arms. This is another kind of rough spot, and this definitely looked rough in promo shots, but I don't know how you get that any more smooth without this basically being rubber and bendy wire. So if you're gonna do articulated joints, this is kind of what you get, and that's, again, completely forgivable, especially where the hand sculpts are so nice. And then we get into the second mouth. So you gotta kind of lift up the top half of the head, pull down, and then we get the entire interior. And again, a little rough, but how are you gonna do this without showing the joints? All the sculpt work and paint, just aside from that, definitely looks beautiful. Love the shade of red, nice and deep. And then these two little snakes inside, just beautiful, beautiful sculpt. So there's that, and you know, again, those jagged teeth kind of come out. So really, I think the rough spots are forgivable in the overall scheme of things. We get a very much complete loadout of accessories here for Snizzard, as this is pretty much everything he used in the show, and that is absolutely commendable. So we're gonna start off with this little snake lasso, and once again, we just get tons of detail with that the scale sculpt work. We get the snake kind of biting itself, a kind of Ouroboros sort of situation, and you can see there's lots of sculpt in that snake face as well. That continues down to the bottom where you can see the jaw, kind of a nice tensity there. So there's that. Then we get a second snake, which I thought was bendy wire from what I had seen other people post, but apparently not. Is just a coiled up rubbery sort of snake. As you can see, that snake face is there again, and just kind of comes out, is quite long as well. And that you can just use to wrap around whatever you have. So I've got a Articulate Icons Red Ninja here. You just kind of wrap it around, and it, you know, because the way it's coiled, it actually works and looks very nice depending on how you do that. So there is that. Then we move on to the bow and arrow. Once again, beautiful sculpt. We even get some nice red in the eyes at the top. Try to get that to focus a little bit better there. And yeah, so really nice, just the scale work all the way around. We come to the arrow, and is that cobra head and face. As you can see, scaling work here. Unfortunately, it is because it's so pliable, just in the box, it kind of got warped. And I think basically just a kind of warm water bath will probably fix that right up. So definitely worth a shot. And of course, there is space here for him to hold it with one of his snake mouth hands. Finally, we get an effects piece, and this is the energy effect he had in the show. Beautiful red pearlescent plastic. Just, oh, I love this. And not only that, but you see the space here, it just fits right on the top of the head. As you can see, there are the holes there to fit with the kind of apple crown. So that's accessories. Articulation here is surprisingly robust, as well as the balance just being on point despite the kind of weird proportions of the character design. And that is, you know, you can see we got our flat feet here, and let's see if it'll balance this. See, there you go. I don't have it resting on the tail at all, and just can hold a standing kick. Love that. Did not expect that at all, honestly. And yeah, so getting into the articulation is going to be interesting here because it is a monster design. First, we have the head, and the top jaw does move. That's on a hinge. We got a hinge for the lower jaw as well. And then for the lower jaw, I guess this would count as our diaphragm joint. As I showed earlier, you got to have this top one up, and that kind of releases here, and that opens up. So we got a hinge here at the lower jaw. We have a hinge at the lower jaw, and then 2 hinges for the kind of snake tongues, I guess you would call them. And yeah, so those are just up and down. So yeah, that's the head. And then we come to the shoulders, and those are on hinge and swivel. We're coming up just past our T. We're single jointed at the elbows, bringing us there. And we get some swivel there as well. Our hands / secondary snake heads are hinge and swivel as well, all horizontal. So we can come up about that far, come, pardon me, down about that far. And there's our neutral. When we come to the the waist, we have a ball joint, and nice amount of room there. Like, look at that. Just straight up hula hooping action. Love it. So there's our crunch forward. There's our arch back, way more than I expected, and some absolutely gorgeous side to side. Then we come to the hips, and almost full splits. Again, completely unexpected, completely love it. We do have thigh swivel as well. Single jointed knees, but those are bringing us to 90. So again, great range. Get swivel there as well. Come to the feet. While we do not have a shin cut, we do have what we've been seeing with a lot of monsters, and that is our rotation here at the ankle. Then we get some beautiful point, some really decent forward, and rocker as well. So articulation is just fantastic here. Almost forgot, y'all, that tail. I don't know how I almost forgot this, but we have a ball joint back here. So we got full rotation. The entire tail is rubbery. We can see those telltale marks. That means this is a bendy wire as well. So our tail pretty much goes wherever we want it to go. However, it is so thick that you're not gonna get like crazy motion out of it, but definitely enough to kind of give it some life. So that's articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with some other Lightning Collection monsters. With some other Lightning Collection. With some other Hasbro and some Mattel. With some imports. With some other monsters. Finally, with an articulated icons Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valaverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Snizzard figure from Hasbro is that this figure is awesome. You know, as I had said at the beginning of the video, this is a figure that I had been looking for since very early on in the line. Here it is, and honestly, it meets some expectations. It surpasses others, and that is in spite, pardon me, of the some of the I wouldn't even call them shortcomings. I'd say kind of rough patches, and that's only because, again, it is a very unorthodox design. This is very hard to engineer into this form, and you know that for me, that's 100% forgivable. For others, it might not be. However, I think this is 100% worth picking up. This is probably one of the best like Lightning Collection monster figures that we have right now. Just the amount of attention to detail they went into it, the amount of new stuff, it's so good. I fully recommend it if you're a fan of this particular monster. You just like reptilian / snake lizard monsters in general, or you're collecting Lightning Collection. So I will have links in the description below to where you can pick up yours, especially to Entertainment Earth, of whom I am an affiliate. So if you use either any of my links or use the code TS Moth, I will have that here on screen at checkout. Currently, you will get 10% off and free shipping if the order is over $39. So, you know, absolutely get in on that if you can. And yeah, so links will be down there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you here again as I have multiple videos a week of various tokusatsu, dinosaurs, monsters, and pro wrestling figures. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and most importantly, stay weird, simians.